How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Monday live stream. My name is Guillaume, and today we're gonna check out the wing. We're gonna have some fun together. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Always fun to be here with you on a Monday. Always fun to be back into the regular schedule of life. Holiday vacation are almost over. Most of you guys are probably going back to work. I know January is a little smoother of a month when it comes to the world of event. Not everybody here is in the world of event, but most of you guys are. People who are watching this. I know there's the church guy, I know there's the event guys, there's the home studio guys. You are all welcome here. Just know that. And we're going to talk about stuff that we like together as a community. We like to talk about sound, how to do things on the Behringer wing. The question that somebody asked me long ago is, how can I do a show every week on the wing? Well, the answer is because you guys. Welcome. So glad to be back. Hope you guys have a good beverage. Let me first say hi to the regulars. Gotta call you guys the regulars. Patrick. Bonjour, Patrick. Pancho, good to see you again. Rolf, thank you for being here at every single show and watching all my videos. Thank you very, very much. Mario, good to see you. Quincy, Hedwin, Fanny, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Monday live stream. Today, open topic. I don't have anything in mind. We're just gonna go with the flow, go with the chat. Let me know if the background is looking okay or not. I'm trying to have some colorful light change during the show. Let me know if it's too much, if a single color should be enough. I'm one remote click away from fixing that. So, yeah, that's about it. What do you guys want to talk about? I got all day. Should I talk about this? Or should we talk about something else? Question for you. This one's coming from Patrick. Usually you don't ask questions. Usually you answer questions. What, if anything, you do for metering? Can I ask you what you're talking about here, Patrick? Metering. Usually, if you're talking about channel view meter setup, and that's pretty much the only thing that I care. Channels, Okay, hold on. I had a guy who asked me about RMS metering with the wing, and wing only does peak, as probably most console only does peak. This is fairly new, and I'm gonna come back to your question, Quincy. This is fairly new to want to monitor at RMS, DBLUFS. Usually, Sound Mixer only gave you the option to monitor peak, and the reason is actually no, for broadcast it's not RMS, it's LUFS. It's a LUFS value. Well, it's kind of like a RMS value. So for those of you who don't know, basically peak is the maximum amount of energy that you're gonna get from an input. Let's say from if I have a plosive in a microphone, if I go up P, it's just gonna peak at some point, where RMS is more of an overall volume. RMS is not just 3 dB less than peak, it's average. It has an average over time. Or actually, when it comes to broadcast, LUFS have an average over time. Same as when you want to monitor DBSPL, it roots mean square. I know, but I mean, if you want to have, the reason why you want to have RMS is you want to average over time. You want an average. You don't want the peak, because the peak could be one time. The RMS will be average, or some people call it musical scale. Maybe I'm wrong. It's the old timer that I grew up around. Call it the music. That's how it showed, but maybe average using Open Sound Meter. You definitely need an app for that. Hold on, before we go too far into this, Quincy, I'm not sure that I understand your question. Is there an option to what the show? I don't know if it's a typo or I'm just too old to read that far, because the prompter is a little further than usual today. That's how 4 seconds already. A 4 seconds ad. Okay. Is there an option to call into the show? To call into the show now? No. I don't take live call for a couple reasons. YouTube has a really strict policy when it comes to what you show. Nothing that we do here usually is gonna get me banned or get me suspended or having a violation of any term of service that I sell my soul when I sign up to YouTube. But because I cannot control what somebody would do, say, show, if I, let's say, open up the show for a video call, I don't think I could have control over that. So if somebody, for some reason, show up and do something stupid, I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys have pretty much a good idea what is not allowed on YouTube. It could get me in trouble. Yeah, me too, Patrick. For a second, I thought you meant the Wing Show, but no. Quincy. At this time, I don't have that. Maybe if you guys want to do a video submission, maybe what I can do is ask you to send me a video, email, Facebook, because most of you guys know where to find me on Facebook, but mostly send it to my email. If you guys have a question or want to show me something, I can probably edit that and having it showing up the next week. Maybe we could do that, so I can I can have a way to trigger you to go over a video and we can talk about it. But doing back and forth because it's live, because people can do stupid stuff, I try to avoid. I try just to protect the channel that I've built, because you guys have no idea how much time and effort it took me to gain the 7,000 subs, get the stuff going, and right now I'm really happy where I am, where I'm at with the channel. I want to leave it at that for now. But your question is about point source versus line array. I'm gonna say it depends on the situation. What's your budget? What's your everything? I don't know. What kind of environment do you want to put sound into? What's your approach? Or is it for sound reinforcement? Is it for a lot of people, and like how much the stage volume as a final say on your front of house mix? Quincy says, I notice that most of the time the double 15 speakers kind of sound better than some line array. It depends on the situation. It's really, yeah. Um, the line array prices are so crazy, $4,000 for each box. Yes, but okay, hear me out. Depending on the situation, I'm gonna go with a brand that I know really well. The QSC stuff. I'm regularly working with the QSC stuff. The new LA108, the 112, and the K12 are speakers that I'm regularly working with. They are all really good speakers, but they have different reason for existing. The two-size line array, debatable, but a line array versus a point source. If you just want to do sound reinforcement, and I'm gonna talk, I'm gonna assume here that we have subwoofer, because I'm never gonna use, speaker without subs. You absolutely need subs. I prefer the double 18, if possible the double 21 for that really low 30 hertz. Or somebody will probably mention the Rad Sound X subs. I really want to try that once in my life. But all that to say, it really depends on the situation. If you have a box that you need to put really high in the ceiling of a venue, a point source will really not be ideal for that. Because the way that the point source is designed, most point source usually have a 70 by 90 degree opening, or it's designed to cover space of 70 degree by 90 degree in front of it. Interchange those angle roughly, but let's say 90 by 90, where a line array box have only a 10 degree that way and 100 maybe or 120 on the side. And the reason why is because you want to point, the line array, is you add a bunch of bucks together to only cover the region that you need to cover with sound. Of course, sound's gonna bounce around, but if you want to have the direct effect of a speaker, you need to have, a line array set up from the 0 point, meaning the highest point that you want to cover in your venue, and you got to add enough bucks to cover all the way down to where you need that, and it's not gonna, spill or have a little spill on the stage. That's the reason why line array bucks are so interesting, and you can fly them out of the way. You don't see them, they hang there, and you have like the little curve here. It's not visually in the way of having two speaker next to a stand next to a stage. It depends on what you want to do with it. It depends on how many people you need to do sound for. If you have a venue for 150 people, just go with a single 18 and a 12 on top. You're gonna be more than fine, I think. If you need to do sound in a venue for 1,000 people, you probably don't have enough volume once everybody's in there. Once the things are going. It's a different tool to do the same, or it's a different tool to do a different job. I don't want to say it's for the same job, but it's just to me it's just plain simple that one job's gonna call for a certain type of speaker and the other one's is gonna call for another type of speaker. That mean if you only have line array box, it doesn't mean you cannot use just a single one. It's just a matter of where you're gonna position it in your room and what do you need. Sometimes in really, really bad sounding room where I knew I only have to cover, let's say 100 people, but I know it's a big concrete box. What I mean is concrete floor, concrete wall, glass window, and the room has really bad acoustic. I will sometimes use line array box just to shoot in the 10 degree where the people's heads would be. Meaning, if I have to set up a line array, I would set it up like so the first person at the top is barely getting hit by the opening of the speaker, and I'm gonna try to reach as far as I can in the back, but having I'm gonna use the line already the other way around. I'm gonna put the zero angle flat with people's head, and I'm gonna open up so the sound will just go over their head and will be heard in the back. Mostly for corporate event, this is a great approach in bad sounding room. If you are in a really good sounding room and you want to do a band, maybe something like a K12-2 is gonna do the job way better. I think so. I think it's gonna do a better job. It's just a different situation requiring a different tool. In every situation, I don't suggest you need subs. You need to have subwoofer. Okay. Did I say hi, Ivan? Hi, Ivan. Charlie, what's up? Rainer, what's up? How you doing? Hello from Montreal, Canada. I don't know where you guys are all over the world, but what's up? Good to see you guys. Hanger77, bought a pair of RCF, the NXL24A Mark II. These are the column array speaker. Thank you very much for pointing that out. I don't know all my RCF stuff. Sound pretty good, yes, but actually, depending on the situation, it will be a good or a bad option. I had a call this morning from a friend of mine. Classic high school show for kids, for younger audience, aim at younger audience, I should say. And it's a show with a single headset music. It's all about, it's a dance show that is focusing on kids, on learn how to, basically muscles are help you moving your body. It's a dance show. The artist is moving around a lot, and because it's a dance show and they need to have feeling on stage, they said we're gonna put speaker behind, they did a straight line basically with the backdrop and the speaker, but because they're using Colin Array, which is really good sounding speaker by the way, the artist ended up with the horn about like starting from there to there versus their head height for the headset mic to pick up. So I had to tell them this morning to move the speaker in front a little bit so they can be under the coverage of the opening of the speaker. Basically those, I don't know which one they had. It could be RCF, it could be the Bose, it could be one of those Colin Array, really good sounding, but because they have still a wide opening, I believe 120, they were basically, the artist was in the opening of the speaker, so I had them push the speaker front. The artist is now in the play zone outside of the opening of the speaker. Good to go, or way better volume before feedback, because it's always the issue. It's not the quality of the sound anymore, it's volume before feedback. Oh, Patrick, I feel you. Carrying sub is a problem, but I'm lucky enough to say I put them in the truck and I take them out of the truck at the venue. I don't have to carry subs much, and they are all on casters, all on wheels, so not a problem. Jean-Claude, bonjour, bonsoir. Bonsoir, l'Europe. Bonjour, le reste du monde. Hi, everybody in Europe. Good evening, everybody in Europe. Good morning, people from all over the world. It's probably morning in Australia right now, right? The speaker thing is in bads more. Is it based more on coverage of era as well as quantity of attendance, as well as what you are amplifying? Well, it's a tough calculation that you need to do, Chris, because it matters of what you're trying to amplify. If it's just a single microphone for somebody to do like a press conference, like I do all the time, or like a single podium for a presentation, somebody gonna show up, they're gonna have a 85-inch TV, a PowerPoint, and they need a single speaker just to make sure that everybody in the back of the room hear them. You don't need much. If you need to do a band in those settings and the band's gonna be really loud, do you want to go with the stage volume? Do you want to fight the stage volume? How loud do you want that to be? How much sub energy do you want to have? If you're doing a rave, you're probably going to need more sub than if you are doing a conference. It's really a tricky situation. It's a matter. This is why the human element of that needs to be taken care of. A human with common sense must show up to that venue, think about the design, what is the result that you want to achieve, and from there you say, well, I'm gonna put that PA that I have. Like, I love the line array stuff. I love the QSC line array stuff. They sound really, really good. And seriously, the LA112 for a speaker per side in the venue that I'm working with is the best sounding PA that I have there ever. I did a band recently with an XR18. Raise the fader, call it a day. It sounded really good, really dynamic. It was precise. How can I describe? Sometimes you're mixing and you try to push the reverb, and there's like nothing. Oh, too much. You bring it down and up, nothing. Too much. That went smooth. That PA responding really well, and it's really easy to set up. 1 guy operation. It was hanging on a truss, so I had 2 bumper. I installed it myself. Really easy to install. Everything was run over Dente. Oh, breeze. Doesn't draw much power. Deliver high SPL. Sounds really good. What do you want more from a speaker? Yes, they're $5,000 a box. I had 8 of those, so $20,000? No, $40,000 worth of PA, plus the subs. But it sounded amazing. People in the renting business, because think about it, for a personal individual, it's not the same thing as a renting business. When you are a rental company, your client asks you to provide them something. If you are just a one guy with a trailer, that's your PA. You don't have 10 options. So, at the end of the day, it's a matter of knowing where you're going, what you want to do, and sometimes bring a little too much and not driving it to 100%. I've been getting a really good response with delay speakers. They don't have to be too loud up front and too little in the back. Yeah, definitely. But again, it's a matter of knowing the venue that you have to cover. If you have a venue that you have 2 speakers and you don't have too many people, and you can just go 2 speakers, 2 speaker on delay, 2 speaker on delay, and you can do that, that's going to be great. But sometimes that setup for band is not working. It's not going to be loud enough. It's not going to be, or people will, be in the way of the speaker, be physically in front of the speaker. How many times have I walked into a venue and the stage is about 1 meter high and they have front fill in front of the stage? And somebody show up, the first guy coming up at the venue, the speaker is like, the top of the speaker is here to him, and trust me, those front fill are there for no reason, because nobody's gonna hear them. There's somebody literally in front of it. All you're gonna hear from those is the rejection from the mid. Just go like, brr. But yeah, use a crank up speaker on poles. Yes, that can work, but it's not always the best option. Sometimes having a PA at the front where people cannot reach it, people cannot block it, sometimes is the best option depending on what you do. Again, it's always a matter of what is the result that you want to achieve, what is the budget of the client to realize that, and what do you have in stock to make that happen. Edwin, we spend all our money on 2 JBL, the SRX 800 series system. Okay. I kind of wish we could have them held off after plugging into the line array house system. Hold on. We spend all our money on 2GBL. Sorry, I tried to read that and it didn't make sense to me. Not that you don't know how to write, it's just I don't know how to read. The SRX 200 says, yeah, kind of wish we would have held off after plugging into the line array house system. They are much detailed sounding. Yeah, what is the line array? Do you know what is the line array that you have? Or your 800 can be really good at the front. You know, depending on the situation, having multiple source sometimes is a better option. Sometimes. If you are doing sound in church were not designed to kill the reverb of the room. They were actually designed the other way around, where you wanted to have somebody on stage and be heard in the whole building. That's the principle of venues before the last 75 years. You wanted to have the stage project so that everybody in the room could hear it. Nowadays, we have bands playing in church, loud bands, and you definitely don't agree with the design when you add up speakers to those rooms, because they were not designed for that. So the way to not make it a mess and not having really loud speaker at the front and hear just a mush of sound at the back, or just reverb at the back, is to have speakers and having delay speaker everywhere, as many as you could. I saw even in some venue, I know Sennheiser did a thing with the KRA system in Vegas for Celine Dion. Every seat in the venue in front of you, they had a triple 1-inch or half-inch speaker, 200 watt speaker, about that big. It's like it was half the size of an iPhone mini. That's an iPhone 13 mini. It was half the size of that, and it was delivering 200 watt, and it was there, time-aligned of course, just to bring back, the vocal, bring back some of the detail. Subwoofer were coming from the front, but everybody in the room had their little speaker in front of them, and it kind of make it sound amazing everywhere, because they time-aligned, calibrated everything for that system. It sounded amazing. Your music loop doesn't land on one. Yeah, I know. I know, Robert. It's a bug. It shouldn't behave this way. It should be a minute loop that is seamlessly looping, but it doesn't. I need to fix that. I know. Sorry, I didn't have time before the live today, but I can, yeah. Like the synths are dying off and it starts not on one. I know. I need to fix it. It will be fixed. Listen to me. Don't listen to the background music. Listen to me. No problem here. When we plug into a lot of medium-sized venue with line array speaker, I don't know the bands. They just seem to sound better than the SRX stuff. Yes. Well, it's a matter of design. And the SRX stuff is not bad, but it's definitely not the IN from JBL. If I'm not mistaking them correctly. Is it the VTX, the base series? I know the VRX really well. The VRX 932. Know those bucks really well. The SRX is, I believe, the more affordable version that is not line array. Funny enough, I used to work with the MRX 500 as monitor for years. M is for mid. That's all they had. A little mid, no low end, no high end definition. It's their best non-line array? Okay. I guess JBL is not that much in the game anymore. Go listen to Go listen to a QSC K12 too. Those boxes sound like studio monitor. And they are, I believe it's 2000 watts, something like that. They have really high SPLs. Out of my head, I think it's 134 or 136. And they sound amazing. They sound just good. And again, the new QSC stuff is really, really good. Not sponsored by QSC. I don't have any affiliation. I do own one single QSC box. I have a CP8 that I really love. Is dankly popular in US and Canada. I never heard of those guys. The EAW stuff, yeah, 3-way all point source are really, really. Yeah, the EAW had really good series of speaker. But in the passive world, they are kind of, I'm gonna say, not in the game here anymore. I don't see a lot of Eastern stuff because I live in a environment. The Yorkville Synergy? Man, you lost me at Yorkville. I live in an environment that is oversaturated by Solotech, and those guys were pushing Mayer and are now pushing L-Acoustic. I love the L-Acoustic stuff. Mayer, it's not bad sounding, but it's there's a lot of other options for the same amount of price or cheaper that would do the same thing. Danley, I don't know Danley at all. Partnership between Yorkville and Danley. I don't know that brand. I don't. Honestly, day to day, I'm running L-Acoustic, RCF, QSC in the lower side of thing, and that's about what I see on my day to day. Oh, actually, I'm mixing at my little corporate venue on a Yamaha PA. Yamaha sticks, which sound really, really good for what they are. I mean, you don't expect them to deliver like a rave kind of amplification, but they do sound really good for what they are. L-Acoustic's the best, but most expensive. Actually, it's not as expensive as Mayer. When we have two K10.2 for monitors, but thankfully everyone's in here now. I'm gonna start using them for front fill or side fill. They're great. They sound amazing. I had some of the best experience with the K stuff for monitoring. The K 10, 12, 8, 15.2. The 0.2 really matter. Really loud vocals without EQing the monitor at all. You don't need to. If you know what you're doing with a 58 and you just like good gain structure. Sorry guys, good gain structure. Amazing sounding speaker, especially for monitors. With the default preset, there's a monitor preset, monitor 1, monitor 2, but they sound amazing. Any acoustic with full? Nope. Doesn't ring a bell. The KV21, is it L-Acoustic? Monitor 2 was your favorite preset? Yeah, I like those presets, but just the default one works really well. You can just use the default preset on those box, drop it on the ground, and man, they sound amazing. Pancho, I've found that most new speakers nowadays sound really, really good if they use them the way that they were designed for and you don't abuse them. Definitely. It has to do with the affordability of DSP. And if company were to be really, really like pinpoint on, they could take every single speaker, put them into a anechoic chamber, tune them for that speaker. You know, they have a rough idea of the design, but tune it for that speaker and they can send it to you. And if you really want, 6 months after, you can send the speaker back because it will have moved. You could refine tune it, and those are options that are available. I don't know if it's happened that way. I don't know if company are, you know, averaging those speaker, but I know for sure like the QSC stuff with the internal DSP. I don't know what they're doing with the design of the box, with the speaker choice. Probably the DSP has to do a lot to do with that and the choice of amplifier, but man, they sound good. You could show up anywhere and the speaker is not going to be the problem. Maybe the room will have a tone, maybe your source is not going to be that good, but you don't need to EQ the PA. For the PA itself, you don't need to correct the PA before EQing the room. You can just show up, clap, you know, do the clap test, putting a song that you like, EQ the room, tune the room, you know, EQ the frequencies that are really resonating in that room, and call it a day. And you should put any pre-recorded music that you like and it should sound the way it should sound. Nothing. Most new speaker. I was surprised by the JBL Eon, the series that I have on the little truck. I have I don't remember. It's the Eon, the 6. Is it the 612? The Eon 612. Sound amazing. Outside, great speaker. KV2 is a European point source brand. Okay. They go head to head with L Acoustic. Great. I like the fact that people are striving to get better, not cheaper. Seriously, after years in the business, cheaper is not a good solution for me anymore. I want better. I want better sounding speaker. They're more expensive. They double the price, but they sound 3 times better. Good. Sold. That's what I want to do. Quincy, where you live, most people are buying the fake L Acoustic K2 and sub. Yeah. As soon as I see those bucks, pretty much, you can tell that they're fake. And yeah, no, I'm everything but fake. Actually, I have a video that released a couple days ago. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it shows. I'm not gonna say fake, or should I say fake but not counterfeit? Counterfeit is a fake product that pretend to be a brand product, where a ripoff maybe is a better word to use here. Is a product that is designed to look exactly the same but have a different brand name. I did a review of that from the stuff from Temu last week, and the result of the blind tests are not out yet for you guys, but I find myself in a position where I'm probably gonna spend a lot of money on a real microphone eventually, if you guys want to have a pointer. The abuse come from the DJs. We're all nice, caring sound guys. Yeah, the DJs. I mean, the way that I do it now when I have DJ is I'm taking charge of the monitor, and most of the time I put their monitor too loud. Meaning, I'm gonna crank the monitor real hard, and then I'm gonna raise the venue or the front of house speaker. That way, they feel on stage with their monitor, let's say 2 monitor, they feel that to be really loud on stage, but once you bring the venue to a certain level, it's kind of you kind of find a sweet spot where they feel really comfortable having that loud music, but it's still not clipping at the front of house. And sometimes you end up with DJs that are really good and say, oh, I'm gonna send you everything to minus 18 and I'm not gonna move the whole night, don't worry about it. Sometimes it happens. Mario, we have the RCF, the TTL55A. Sorry, there's I'm using an old iPad that has a cracked screen, and where your text is landing, I'm in middle of a crack, so I'm having a hard time to read. The 55A, so 8 per side, and SA55 and SA36 per sub. The double 21 and the double 18. 4 per side. Sounds great. Well, sounds like a really good PA that you got there. Definitely. I like the RCF stuff. I've run a HDL20 for years and sounded really good in different kind of situation. Really good sounding kit. Okay, Quincy, you were in the Caribbean. It's almost impossible to tell the fake one. As soon as I listen to it, I can tell you it's fake. MFM, anyone having experience with the Coda? Have heard great things. European design, I believe. I definitely tried a Coda before. How can I say this? I was finishing a 4-show run with a band. We had 2 days in regular venue, one Saturday in an arena out on out in New Brunswick here. I had an EVPA in an arena. I mean, there's nothing to write home about. And on the Sunday, I was back in Montreal, and it was the first time the Dakota was deployed in Montreal. I was at the Just for Laughs festival, and it's the first time that I didn't know how to mix anymore. Everything was separate from each other. It was so transparent, so... How can I say that? Exactly what I was saying before with reverb. Sometimes reverb, you push it, like nothing, oh too much, oh nothing, oh too much. It was the 100% 180 degree phase reverse that man, every single detail, every single EQ touch I was doing in that PA, I was hearing it. I freaked out. I didn't know how to mix anymore. It was the first time that I showed up to a venue. Well, it was an outside gig just to make it more fun. Man, everything's so transparent. Like, I had a hard time taking decision on, like, okay, here's my kick, here's my vocal. I hear everything at the same time. Nothing is like, the mid-range doesn't mush out. I can hear the guitar. I can hear the tone of the guitar over the vocal at the same time. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I into? In a good way. Like, I was, especially doing an arena show the day before, I tried to make everything sound as, separate from each other. And when I raised the same mix, same console mix from the night before in that PA, I was like, oh my god. Everything is like in their own universe. Like, it's like having everybody had their speaker and you just raise the volume of each speaker. Nothing is like mushing into each other. It's weird. I had the same thing happening to me the first time that I got the K3 from L Acoustic. A couple of years ago. I actually have a short live video that I did before the show. And 1K, half dB, EQ on the main, and I heard it. That's the first time that it happened to me. Most of the time in venues, you don't hear that. But man. Yeah, the Chinese fake acoustic amplifier. Yeah, well, I mean, they look the same, but they're not the same. They don't copy the design, they copy the look. And they make the cheapest possible stuff that they can sell, you know? So yeah, definitely Coda is a great PA. D&B just released a compact Lanare series a couple days ago, supposed to be really good. I never had it. Never had the news. Okay, D&B is also a band of really good PA. Not really pushed much here. It's strange because I know the distributor for that, and they are in the really good marketplace. I don't know why the D&B stuff is not selling that much, or I don't see it much. I see mostly, yeah. Thinking about it, when I go into venue now, it's more of a monitor engineer thing that I do. So most of the time, I will have the D&B wedge, but yeah, PA are probably more D&B in venue here than I'm really realize, because I don't see them much being on stage doing monitor. And now with the band that I'm out right now, we carry our own K12 too. They work great. The singer never been happy. He bought them. It's his own monitor. The band bought their own stuff. Good, we're in. So I just make that happen every night. So yeah, D&B stuff is really cool. Should check out their new line array. Really curious to see what's the reason. I mean, if somebody show up with a product, it's like, what do you compete for? It's gonna be my question. Let me tell you, bro, the K2, the Coda, and the HF, yeah, every mistake you made will come out in the PA. Yeah, definitely. Nothing to hide there, or nowhere to hide there. You cannot do that. Most guys in the Caribbean stick to the old EAW-KF stuff. Point source and Chinese stuff. Well, actually, the KF730, I used to run that for a long time. It was not a bad PA, but man, it didn't fit all situation. What about last week, team? Ivan, remind me, please. It's been a full week. I did so many things. Actually, if you guys want to hear a funny story, this week, I'm having a hard time with this. Can you guys see this? Let me pull the plug. Hold on. Let me pull the plug on that stuff. There we go. This is a Ubiquiti access point. You guys know what this thing is? This should be a 5-minute scan the QR code on the back and adopt that thing on your phone. Firing it up using a PoE injector. The other end of that cable is straight in the console, so nothing in the way. Plug it in, firing it up, make it happen. And the Wi-Fi signal on those things is supposed to be good for like a half a mile. Too good for what I'm doing right there. The bandwidth, the amount of people that you can have on those things, too good. Too good. It was supposed to take 15 minutes to set up. I have 3 of those. I spent the last 3 days, or actually, not the last 3 days, but last week, I spent 3 days sending email to people at Ubiquiti. Their app is broken. It doesn't work. I cannot set up the access point to work with anything until I went out of my way, abandoned the project, went out and bought a really good old, for $10, Apple router. An Airport Extreme. 5 minutes later, it was working. Choose the SSID or the name of the Wi-Fi. Choose the password. Everything was working flawlessly. Decided to plug that thing in the router. As soon as it saw the router, it lit up. I now had access to it over my phone. I was able to set it up in 10 minutes, plug it in the console, and it was working. I don't know if I was not clear enough with Ubiquiti tech support. I don't know if I don't know what happened when somewhere in the chain, but I tried everything. I tried to connect to my home system, it didn't work. I pull out the good old, not supported anymore, router, and everything is working. All right. Sorry, I tried to read BuzzFeed. We're talking about BuzzFeed last week. Sure, we can talk about that. Just let me finish what's going on in the chat. Beat surprising with the D&B Y7P subs and cuss. Okay. Need to check those guys out. Which sub are you using with the QSC K12? It depends. So now I have only the... Is it the KW1? No, the LA subs from QSC. Hold on. Is it the LA QSC? Is it LA sub? Or is it the 112? The LS112. I'm using the LS112. This is the only one that I have access to right now. It's probably overkill for the K12, but the LS112, because they go along with the LA112 and the LA108 LAN array. So I believe there is 16... Is it 16 QSC K12 and 8 LS112 subs at the shop? So you could do PA monitors with everything K12, and the subs just go with the PA, because the LA112 is $6 per side, and you're fine with 2 subs per side. So you can do 4 subs, 8 tops, or 12 tops. And if you want, you can have another extra subs in the middle. But yeah. We'll go back to BuzzFeed, Ivan. Okay, so the new D&B stuff, 40 grand with amp. Okay, 144 dB crystal clean sound. It's too loud. It's way too loud. The AP, the model of the real is on the real AP. It's not a real access. Well, it's the mesh stuff. It's an access point. It's made to be wireless network if you have 2 or more of them. But it advertise from Ubiquiti that you could use it as a standalone access point. When I bought those things, my plan was to have that small thing to put in the rack, and this is actually what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day. I'm gonna have this console having the rack gear on. I'm gonna bring my stuff, go set up my stuff to the storage room, and I'm gonna set up my kit for me to leave on tour next Wednesday. I'm gonna leave for a couple of time, and basically my plan was to have this sitting in my rack somewhere in the back, and having this small thing with just a adapter for my Wi-Fi network. I also have a switch that I'm using to split all my Dente stuff, because on that console we can probably do that just for fun. On that console I have now a internal module card. That's going to be a video that's going to come out soon where I'll show how to install it. So yeah, I just wanted something small that work, and effectively the iPhone app doesn't work. The Ubiquiti app on iPhone doesn't work. I tried the old version on a really old iPad, actually the one that I'm using for my prompter. This is like an iPad third generation, something like that. Not supported anymore. Really old OS. Download the old app, not working. My phone, not working. Computer, not working. Now, I just turned it on once I connected to a DHCP server, and it worked for some reason. I don't know. Believe me, I had the same problem. Okay. Thank you for pointing it out that I'm not alone in this case. What case do you use for the compact? It's gonna be a... Hold on. I can tell you. I think it's an Odyssey case. Let me check that out. I just want to know if I have the right model. Nope. I'm looking my invoice. Hold on. I'm looking for my invoice for that one. It's I think I got it here. It's the Odyssey. Hold on. It's the FZ1316 WDLX-2. Basically, it's a angled top 16U with the two covers making tables, and it's gonna be filled with a compact, a UPS, my Wi-Fi access point thing, 2DL31, and I'm gonna see if I have any space left for anything else. But the 231s are 10 space plus the two the UPS 2 space is gonna be 12. 13 with my rack, because I build a custom rack for my router and stuff like that, a shelf. I build that. So all that together, I think I'm gonna be close to the top of dealing with the having the rack on a 16U, because I think it's gonna take the 3U depth for that. So yeah, that's the plan. The DL231, yes, DL231. Because I'm having the compact for monitor in the front of us, having the full-size wing. We have separate game, and it's just working great. MFM, I have 8 K12.2. Normally used for monitor, but occasionally front of house. They work great. Yeah, they work great. They work great all the time. I had my first Ethercon failure this weekend. Brandon's Lynx Pro from Amazon, used 3 times. Had to panic move the wing back to the stage in 30 minutes. It happened. You should buy my cable instead. Should be careful of what I'm wishing for when I say this, but I make my own cable. I have found kind of the same reel that Dave Rat made his XCAT cable of. I kind of figure out what he's using, and I'm making my own with my, cable, and it's not costing me an arm and a leg. I can probably sell, if you guys really are serious about buying some cables, we can probably work a deal together through Reverb or any other selling platform. If you guys really want to have me making you one cable, let me know. But yeah, I think I figure out the whole thing. You just bought the Rat one. Yeah, they're expensive. Oh, Ivan, you think on you getting the 251? Great choice. If you want to drop by my place, I probably have one that I could sell. The 151 is 24 input. I believe the 152 is 24 output. The $125 for 50 foot. Okay, not a bad deal. But 50 foot, you should not need anything special. You can probably even do Cat 6. Like if you want to, well, it's not a bad cable that you bought for sure, but next time if you want to do just a 50-foot run, you can probably buy the Digiflex stuff. For short run like that, it's good. It's when you start to go in the 200-foot, 300-foot, that's where you're gonna start to have like problem with cables. A cable can break anytime. Anybody can cut your cable. It happened to me. This is why I'm running spares all the time. On that rig that I'm gonna set up for the tour right now, I'm gonna have 2 AS50 line. I'm gonna have a backup over Dente, and I'm gonna connect the 2 consoles together over Dente. So if for some reason any of the console lose signal, one console sending, the other console sending, we're pushing lines everywhere. I'm like one repatch away from being back in running condition. Maybe having different gain a little bit, because front of us and monitor sometimes gonna run different gain, but I'd rather do trim on the fly than not having anything. Have any of you guys having issue with the Midas Blue IO stuff tripping GFI circuit? No, and everything is to a UPS, so should be good. I'm using Cat 5. Ivan says I'm using Cat 5, a shielded 50 meter or 150 feet. Ben is a German man. Tech. Okay, well that's gonna be good. The only problem that people are having is on cheap cable and long distance. That's the only part where people are having problems. Seriously. All right. Now that I read Ivan's question, can we go back into BuzzFeed? I actually have right now a show in front of me, and I'm working on that thing from the console. I'm having an SD card here when I play back a session, and I need to change a couple things. I need to change a couple things for my bus. So this is real world. This is not any kind of this is not any kind of simulation. This is a real show that I'm using right now that I'm gonna leave on tour with. So we should do that, right? I have bus. You guys cannot see my hand, but I have bus 9, 10, 11, and 12 here that I not set up the way I want them to be set up. Right now, my band is 7 mixes plus a guess slash. This is what I'm using for my backliner guy. He got his own mix, and I want to be ready to welcome more people if we're doing a show where we have guests. So I want to turn already bus 9, 10, 11, and 12 into guest mixes. Oh, actually, you have access from there. Well, hold on. If you are on the home menu, apparently you can just go click here and you have the bus configuration menu. I want to turn that bus into all channel. I want that to be pre. I want to set off. I want to keep the mute. I want to set the pan to the pan that they are on the console. It's already, everything's going to be pre-pan a little bit. And I want to set everything to -10 as a starting point. If I have guests, I'm going to raise their vocal, but if not, this is what I want to do. So I'm going to apply that to bus 9. I'm going to turn it from a group. Right now it's on a group. I want to turn it from a group to a pre-tap. I'm going to go apply. And after that, I'm going to go in the channel. I'm going to use any channel, like my kick in channel. And I just want to make sure that everything is... Actually, I need to do this for the whole console. I want my stuff to be on tap point 6. That way, if I'm using an insert, I want the guy in the band to hear that into their ears. Hold on. And actually, I'm doing this by hand. I don't know if there's a way to do it, to change the tap point globally for all the bus. You guys have any clue on that? Anyone watching that can tell me how to change for the tap point for everybody? On wing edit, you think you can do that? Okay. Well, I don't have that many channels. I can just go quickly here and change that while you guys ask me question about what we should talk about in the bus. You guys have any question about that? Let me what should we talk about when it comes to bus feed? Okay, this one is already done. This one. We're gonna get there. I should start my Bob Ross voice with all my little mistake, all my happy mistake that I'm gonna do. And I don't want to do happy mistake here, because trust me, no one wants to do happy mistake when doing sound. It's not the same thing as Bob Ross. I don't know why I'm getting that out. But, alright. Almost done here. So bus 9 is done. Great. We can do bus 10. All pre. Set off. Tapan. Enable send on. Oh, did I enable send on the other one? Alt to minus 10. Go check that out. Pre. Off. Set on minus 10. That's right. Alright, okay, now they're all on. Bus 10, pre, off, like this. Like this. There we go. And now I'm gonna go into my reverb. My reverb is good like that. I just don't have the thing on the reverb. And that should be good. Nobody should care about that. If I want to send something into my instrument reverb, I'm gonna turn it on and then send. Because if I do a mistake and I don't want to have something like a bass drum sent into the reverb, if I raise it up by accident, it's not gonna be on. You should avoid every kind of mistake. All right. Yeah, that's it. The input that you see here that are not finished on that show is because they are newly added to this revision of the show. We just changed the patch, so we just added some pad. The hi-hat should not be that. I don't know why it didn't do that, but I'm not using it much. With the tom, everything is pretty much the same. Pancho said, do you do the Drew Brashler EQ on the bus with the roll-off for 10K with the wireless receiver? Nope. I don't understand why I should do that. Maybe I'm wrong. How much channel am I using? It's up to 25, 26. I'm missing a couple things here because it's a new show. I'm having pilot tone. Just so I can understand here. Drew said not to do an eye cut, so you're not getting in the way of the pilot tone. Is that the reason why you're doing the high cut on the wireless? Because I definitely have people in here that hear higher than 10K, and they will tell me if to keep the pilot tone the cuts. I cannot do that. I have people like the two people that I'm thinking of in that band that really rely on their in-ear mixes. They have no sound, like the two guitar player. They definitely hear higher than 10K, and if I low cut or if I shrink that in their ears, they definitely gonna tell me that something is dull sounding or just not as open as it should. I don't know if it applies to the Shure stuff. I'm using the PSM 300 with these guys, all into a antenna distribution and everything. And oh yeah, funny story. I just bought the half dome antenna from Sennheiser. Somebody was selling them locally, and I got the new, like the A. It's the Sennheiser A5000 CP. Man, even with a 6 dB slope at 10K, yes. Like all the cymbals information, well, all the drums overhead information will be gone, and probably the guitar tone in some spot will be gone, or the acoustic. Pretty sure the acoustic will be heard. Like it's not going to be the end of the world if I do it, but I don't know if it applies to the Shure stuff, because I think it's a higher frequency than that on the Shure stuff. I kind of understand, but never, like, I'm not having any problem. I kind of understand why you would do that, but to me it would be to me it would be to fix a problem, but I don't have any problem. I don't have. Yeah, it's the Sennheiser stuff. Anybody know here from the 300 series if there's a pilot tone there? But it could make sense, because I have one of the guy running on Sennheiser, and there's definitely that, like, sometimes could be around 10K drift. Could it be when the tone is it's 16K? Oh, 16 I could cut. 6 dB per octave, sure, I could do that at 16. At 10? All analog stereo band stop around 15 kilohertz due to the 19 kilohertz pilot tone. That's from Shure. Robert. You know, 19K, sure. No one will hear that. 15, if you cut the in-ears around 15, nobody will know that. But there's a lot of stuff still going between 10 and 15. No, all stereo wireless. Okay. Is it the same for Shure and Sennheiser? I'm not sure we understand here. I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing. I understand that we're talking about the pilot tone. I understand that we're talking about cutting that so it doesn't, interfere with it doesn't interfere with the signal that I'm sending from monitor doesn't interfere with the pilot tone. But if it's 15K, I don't think the transmitter allow that. I don't think the transmitter allow over 15K. I think this is the hard stuff for these transmitter. So that way it's keeping it clean at around 19. And I should take a pack and listen to that. Plugging a 1.8 into the pack and see if I see the pilot tone. It's probably 19K. Too bad I don't have any wireless back with me here. But okay, I'm gonna check that out. But no, I never did that. I don't have any. Okay, so it's the Polytone it's the same from all manufacturer. This is why they limit the frequency to 15 kilohertz, so it doesn't interfere. Okay, well, yeah, so you don't need to do it, basically. It's already done for you there, right? So the Drew thing is not really doing anything. Okay. Anyway, did I change the bus? Did we do that? Yes, I think I did. Let me check that out. Yes. They're all set on bus. Everything is good here. What about these? Yes. That's my input. If I go here, that's the amount of reverb. If you guys want to see, that's my lead singer reverb going to everybody. That's the everybody's vocal going to everybody. Drum reverb, instrument reverb, and the way that I do it is I send the instrument return all the way up to these guys, and I adjust, I really mix what I'm sending into the reverb for everybody, and so far it's doing a great job. Let me take a look at my channel just for fun. Okay, I'm on alternate mode right now. This is why I don't have all the channel. Let's go back to main. There we go. So I'm using 32 channel here, which makes way more sense. If we want to take a look at them, that's my basically drum, 12 input of drum, kick in, out. We're trying a kick out again, a D6. That's a Sennheiser 901. D6, all 904, except 914, 614, 904. The last bass drum is 902. Kick drum mic that you use on that. The overhead are AT2020, and the ride is a 614 from Sennheiser. After that we go bass. That's a line out from a preamp. I'm not sure if it's the preamp with the Mezzo-Boogie or we're having a Sands Up on that one. JM's guitar is a Kemper XLR out right there. Boom Acoustic is a Radial Tonebone acoustic preamp, or no, that's a guitar, sorry. Guitar is 57 in front of his amp, a Blues Breaker, I believe. Acoustic is a Radial. Sub's guitar is a Beta 57A on his rig that he plays. He takes time to place it every time. His acoustic is a Behringer DI. Piano and reface are just straight XLR. Vocal are all Beta 57. All Beta 57 all the way to my guess. I have my crowd mic. I have a pair of old Panasonic shotgun mic that I'm using. Talkback from my band leader, talkback for the drum, and I have 3 free input. What I need to do, I need to set up my talkback monitor. So I'm gonna use local 1, or should I use local 1? No, I'm gonna use local 24 for that. That way, so if I have guests, I can connect them locally. Or actually, no, that will not happen, because if I have guests, they will be plugged into 231. Sure, I'm gonna use local 24 for my talkback. Just gonna set that up quickly. SM57, no gate, EQ, low cut, something like that. That should be good. Compressor, just in case I decide to scream at people and I want just for fun. That wing come is gonna be good. Around -18. Doesn't really matter here. No insert. I could put autotune on it. Will be fun. But yeah, that's about it. And I want to enable that in everybody's ear. And I probably want to do something like this for every bus for that channel, so everybody can hear me. I know the drummer's got his mixed really loud, so it doesn't mean me that much. But everybody else around -10 should be the way to go. Hey, I've got a question here. I want to connect. Hold on, let me switch. I want to connect my PC to my X32 for playing music back and video. Would you recommend using a DI box in between? I would say first, if you have an option to use a USB port in the back, it will be way easier for you. It will also enable you to have more than a stereo left-right for playback. If you don't have a USB, or if you want to go analog, I would say yes, go with a DI box. If you have a Mac, I don't know. If you have a Mac, you don't need a DI box. You won't have any humming noise. But if you have a PC, most of them, you will get a ground loop connecting from the headphone out to a 1/4 inch. Try this if you can to use 1/4 inch. That way you avoid the option to have phantom power sent into your PC and just blowing up everything. I saw that happen before. But if you want to use, if you want to do that, seriously, get a 1A cable to 2/4 inch, get a stereo DI, send that into your console. Most expensive way, but definitely gonna work. The cheapest way will be just to use a USB cable from USB-B in the back of your X32 to, I don't know if your laptop is USB-C, USB-A, whatever is gonna work, but it will be my option if I were to do that. If not, headphone out is working all the time. Disable left, right on talkback, definitely. Thanks for the cue. And for some people, I know they like to have me pan one way. This one centered. This one like to have me pan. This one like to have me pan. This one should not be hearing me. That's a lead singer. Lead singer never want to hear me. And guess I'm gonna keep it on. Or actually, no. You know what? Guess I'm gonna keep it out. So all these is gone. Drew YouTube title is Monitor Mixing. Do this to make your in-ear mixes better. That's a clickbait title a little bit. 19K palette tone issue. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at it. Gonna take a look at it, definitely. Are the aux in on the X32 TRS or TS if you want to use an aux? They are mono TRS, meaning balanced, not stereo TRS. They are mono, so it's the same. It's basically the same as TS. I use a Bluetooth to XLR device, works great. Yeah, I know Radial got one. Radial got one really cool device for that. You apply phantom power to your XLR, it's gonna power up that DI-ish, and you can just Bluetooth to it. Ivan, how do you connect two consoles to the DL231 for gain split? Well, actually, the DL231s are have two separate output, basically. So yeah, one goes to front of house, one goes to monitor, and they are separate clock also. So really, a DL231 is 24 XLR socket going into 48 preamp. They are physically, like, every single input is split to two different preamp. So you don't have to deal with gain sharing at all. But yes, I'm running one Cat5 per 24. Actually, let me show you my patch. Here, I show source. 1 to 24 will be the stage box. 1B will be 25 and up. Well, I don't use much. I use only 12 of those. But yeah, I'm running 2 cable from the 251 to me, and I'm running 2 cables to front of house. My snake on that show has 5 cables, so I can have. I used to have a Pro Series, so I was running 2 with redundancy and a spare. Right now, what I'm gonna have is 2, 1 for Dante, 1 for spare, and I'm gonna also provide a link to the light console. So if those guys want to have something, they will just put a coupler on my snake and it will be run for everybody. So my snake is a 200 footer 5 line of AES or network cable. And I built a nice little rack with, do I have it with me? I built a nice little rack with a faceplate that has Ethercon. So for this one, I'm gonna have my Dante in and out. Well, Dante not in and out, but primary, secondary for each console or for front of house, and a split for me to go on stage. And after that, I'm gonna have a spare line to go to lights. If we have broadcasts, I'm already having like broadcasts ready from Dante from my console for gain. Yeah. I'm ready with that, with 5 line of Cat 5 for that. Then the plan was to also run a power cable with that, but I forget. I forget that idea a long time ago. I'm not gonna need it. I'm just gonna go like Cat 5, and I'm gonna use the power provided locally. So that's not an issue. Alright, so on that note, it's almost 3 o'clock for me. It's gonna be time for me to wrap it up, because I need to go set that rig up. I haven't said the IS-50B out and IS-50B X and Y, I think you mean. For connection on the DLT-51. Hold on. X and Y, okay, so the AS50X and the AS50Y be for connection to the DLT-51. Yeah. The Behringer MS8000, my splitter work well. I have 4 of them for a 32 splitter with 1 ISO. Yeah, really cool option, but having the 231 allow me to have 2 different console with 2 different clock, meaning that if I want to, I can run 2 Pro Series or HD96 with a wing with an X32 independently, one from another. So when I had the opportunity to get the 231, I did, because I know back in the day with the Pro one, I could do whatever I want. Now with the Wing series, I can have clock at 48 for everybody, and maybe, who knows, when the HD96 Air is gonna get released, I'll be able to upgrade my monitor rig, and it's just gonna work. I don't have to upgrade the preamp again. Can we contact privately for the DL251? Sure, Ivan. Send me an email. Send me an email, or send me a Facebook message. Have you tested the UB4 sample rate converter yet? No, I didn't. I didn't have time to do that. It's on the list. It's on the list of things that I have to do. But like I said, I lost almost 3 days of work losing my mind over this, talking with Ubiquiti and all that, to tell me that, oh, well, if it doesn't work, you should just RMA those things, and we'll get you sorted out. And the problem was not that. The problem was, as soon as you connect a DHCP server to that thing, basically you connect it to another network, or another Wi-Fi network, and then it's gonna allow you to address it, which is stupid. It doesn't work the way that they advertise it. It should work. So I'm gonna build that setup so I can be ready to leave on tour. Actually, we're loading really soon. I think we're loading tomorrow for the truck. So I know I have to do this today, but I'm gonna leave on Wednesday, but I think we're loading tomorrow. Anyway, I'm gonna check that out. Guys, time for me to wrap it up. Do I have my out and go button? No, I didn't program that, so thank you very much for that. I'm gonna have a good time playing around with gear, and maybe next week we should. Oh, I'm probably gonna get cold. Trust me. I'm gonna. Where I'm going is gonna be cold. But next week maybe we can try to set that up. This is my latest purchase on eBay. I bought a card from a unknown provider. I don't remember which company made that card, but it has a Brooklyn 2 card on it, but I have no idea how compatible it would be with the wing stuff, if it will be detected or not. And I'm crossing my finger here that I'm just gonna plug it into my wing. It's gonna work. If not, I just trust that I can put it into my Yamaha console that I have in the venue and update the firmware from there. If not, I just lost a couple $100. Maybe I can send it back in really good condition. I don't know, but I need to do that kind of quick. So on that note, guys, stick around for more. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this. If you have a good time, I'm glad I had a good time too. Until the next one, I want you guys to please, come on. I want you guys to please take care of yourself. And I see you all later.